because it put me on the path toward the fourth approach, which is the one thing you need to know about spiritual transformation. And that is quite simply that it's all about relationships. Now, these other approaches I've mentioned are all good insofar as they go, but if we pursue them apart from relationship, apart from loving God, apart from loving our neighbor, they will fall short every time. As Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians 13, without love, we gain nothing. And so we're going to spend the rest of our time today and our time on Wednesday unpacking and exploring what this means, that spiritual transformation is all about relationships. And we're going to look at the 5 relational dimensions that guide spiritual transformation. The first one, that we are created to connect, the purpose and process of spiritual transformation. The second, gut-level knowledge, how we know God and others. The third dimension, attachment filters, how relationships shape our capacity to love. The fourth, spiritual tipping points, how soul transformation works. And finally, the fifth dimension, furnishing the soul, how we foster spiritual transformation. This first dimension, that you and I are created for deep connection with God and with each other, is the foundation for all of the rest. And it informs our understanding of the purpose of this spiritual journey that you and I are on. As Todd mentioned earlier in his introduction, when Jesus was asked, which is the greatest commandment? As you well know, he replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. The purpose of our spiritual journey is to grow in our love for God and our love for others. And so let me ask you today, are you clear on the purpose of your journey? What about the process of spiritual transformation? How do we get there? God created us for relationship. And he also created us such that we need God and others in order to grow spiritually and emotionally. In Ephesians chapter 3, Paul prays for the Ephesians. May your roots go down deep into the soil of God's marvelous love. And may you have the power to understand, as all God's people should, how wide, how long, how high, and how deep his love really is. May you experience the love of Christ, though it is so great, you will never fully understand it. You see, spiritual transformation is a relational process in which we become more loving by taking in more and more of Christ's love for us. We are literally loved into loving.